Hello everyone. Today we are going to move on to Unit 9, Lesson 3 on indirect measurement. Indirect measurement is a technique using proportions or scale factor to find measurement. So today we are actually going to use shadow reckoning and similar triangles. Recently we worked on finding missing sides of a figure using scale factor. But today we are going to be substituting the known lengths into a proportion to solve for the missing length. And my one recommendation is during your assignment, after you are done watching the video, is to draw a diagram to help you. All right, so our first example we have here, it shows the two triangles in this figure are similar. Find the distance D across the stream, and you'll notice that this smaller one is rotated upside down. So we need to look and see if we can figure out what the matching sides are. And so when we're doing these kind of problems, we are going to be solving a proportion. So we are going to be doing this. Okay, so fraction bar equals fraction bar. And so what we need to figure out which triangle we're going to be using first. I'm going to choose this one. We can actually choose either one, doesn't matter, but this is the way I'm showing you on this particular one. So we are going to look for the matching or corresponding sides. And so notice AB, that one should correspond to E or DE because there are two arcs here and there's a right angle. So 48 and D are our corresponding sides. Well, we need to decide which one, or we needed to decide which one we should put on top, and I chose this one, the one I starred. So the big one is going to be on top, the big and little, right? The little one's going to be on the bottom. So 48 goes over D. So then we look for the other corresponding angles, and this side doesn't have a measurement, so we're not going to use that one. We are going to use this one for the second one. So our corresponding side on the smaller triangle, we have BC, and so we have a right angle and one arc. Here's a right angle and one arc, so that's our corresponding angle. So we're going to put the big one on top, 60, over the smaller one, 20, and we are simply going to cross multiply. So we're going to take 60 times D and multiply 48 times 20. 48 times, I love when that happens. I must have clicked something. 48 times 20. All right, so 48 times 20 is 960. So I have that set to, 60D. Draw our line, divide by 60, divide by 60, and I get D is equal to 16 feet. And it makes sense because it should be smaller than this one, okay? And it is. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. I'm pretty sure on your template, this picture is quite dark. So if you're having trouble seeing it, use this picture as your reference. So here, this problem is just like the last one. So I'd like you to pause this problem and see if you can complete it on your own and then start it to see how you did. So go ahead and pause. Okay, now that you've paused and done the problem yourself, see how you did. So this is very similar to the last problem. I'm looking for D again. This is our corresponding side with D. So again, I'm going to choose to put the bigger one on top and the smaller one on the bottom, or little, I think I used last time, but does not matter. We know what I'm talking about. So here I have 28 over D is equal to, then we have this side right here is the other one that we're given, and this one corresponds to that one. So bigger one is 20 and the smaller one is 5. Now it doesn't matter if you chose to put the smaller one on top, just make sure you put the smaller one on top on both sides. So we are going to cross multiply. 20D is equal to 28 times 5. 28 times 5 is equal to 140. And so now we're simply going to divide both sides. Oh, I forgot to draw my own line. Divide by 20, and I get D is equal to 7 feet across the stream. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and look at the next slide. The other type of problem we're going to see today is using shadows to find heights. So here's just a quick overview about it. If an object is outdoors, you can use shadows to help estimate its height. The diagram below illustrates how the method works. On a sunny day, an object casts a shadow. If you hold a meter stick perpendicular to the ground, that means upright, it will also cast a shadow. The diagram below shows two triangles. One is formed by an object, its shadow, and an imaginary line. The other is formed by a meter stick, its shadow, and an imaginary line. These two triangles are similar. So let's take a look at this picture. So we have the object. It looks like a wall of some kind or a building. We can see the sun is coming down in this direction, so it casts a shadow. Okay, so here's the shadow, the height of the object, and this imaginary connecting line. Same thing with the meter stick. If we hold a meter stick up, straight up and down, perpendicular to the ground, that means it forms a right angle here. The same shadow is going to be, the same angle is going to be given from the sun. And so this would be the length of this shadow. So to find the height of the object, you can measure the lengths of the two shadows and apply what you know about similar figures. So we are going to do one last problem, and we are going to be demonstrating how to do that type of a problem. So here we have a tree, and it casts a shadow of 25 feet. And I'm going to make this just slightly smaller so I can see both the problem and the actual pictures. So the tree casts a 25-foot shadow. So this is 25 feet. And here we have our tree, which we don't know how tall the tree is. We have a stick that is 6 feet and a shadow which is 4.5 feet long. And so what we are missing is this number. So we need to connect the imaginary line down here and down here. Actually, that should go from the top of the tree to the end of the shadow, so something like that. So we are going to form a proportion. And we're going to do on this one again, big to little. That might be how you decide you're going to do all of yours. So big to little. So I'm going to call this the height of the tree. So I'm going to do height of the tree over the height of the stick equals the length of the shadow over the length of the shadow of the stick. So I'm going to cross multiply. 4.5h is equal to 6 times 25. And 6 times 25 is 150. 4.5h is equal to 150. And then divide by 4.5 and I get 33.3 repeating, or 33 1/3 feet. Okay, so go ahead and write your summary for your lesson today, and you can get started on your assignment.